especially to our guests from abroad. Welcome in Holland, welcome in the central city of Utrecht. It's a mini community opera produced in the private room of a retired organ grinder. He lives in a retirement home in the working class neighborhood of Lombok, just west downtown of Utrecht. It was produced by students of the Utrecht School of the Arts in collaboration with the Yo Opera Festival and Workshop. The show is called 3 times 24 hours, as long as our conference will be, and forms a small part of the bigger production, Heart. It was recently produced by the Fortress of Imagination in Bodegraven in cooperation with the 5th Quarter.
That's a fundamental challenge to many of the ways in which our arts infrastructure thinks in Europe, because we very much have the idea that there are some people who are artists and they're over there, and they're a different kind of person, and then there's everybody else. Community arts fundamentally rejects that notion. Since the Romantic period, we have a real stereotype of the isolated artist, the genius, who will go away and sit in his garret, and it generally is him, will sit in his garret and come out with stuff which is uncompromised by any concessions, and largely the public won't understand it for at least 50 years. Community arts does challenge existing ideas and standards about what art is and who does it and what quality is and who is entitled to say what the answers to any of those questions are. It's about a process, and what matters is the experience that people are going through, an experience of shared creation. It is about making something more palatable, more accessible, more easier to take part in. It doesn't give people any opportunity to comment on that offer, to criticise it, or indeed, as might be said, to reject it, except by not going. But it is creating something artistic which can be shared with other people, which can be communicated, which can enter the discourse of a society's artistic life, which separates community arts from education. One of the most impressive community development projects that I know that's come out of work by local people in a mining community in Yorkshire. They raised the money and built this centre. There is an artistic component to what they do, but actually that's not the purpose of what they do. If the artistic element was not delivering their regeneration aims, their skills and education aims, their social cohesion aims, they would drop it. Individual practitioners may situate themselves in different places in this field of work. Some projects might be right over here, very much concerned with education or outreach work. English National Ballet, for example, would be an example there. Other projects, the use of radio, for instance, in South Africa to communicate information about sexual health and other issues, situates itself much more over in the community development front. I think, for me, the most important part of community arts situates itself in that, closer to that cultural inclusion side. There is no room for compromise on quality, and what was very exciting about the two wonderful performances that we started with this afternoon was the outstanding quality of the work in front of us. Quality is essential to community arts practice as it is to all arts practice, but not just artistic quality, quality in terms of the ethics with which we undertake the work, the practice, the training, the understanding, the delivery of workshop work. To give, if the starting point of this work is that it's about redressing a gap where people who do not have access that is equal to others, if that's the starting point, then it seems to me to be no more than a shabby trick to give people access to the second rate. We have to give people access to the best in every sense.